Is that better? Guess who's a mess today? Holy crap, I look bad. The amount of filters I'm gonna have to put on myself. Wait, what's the video again? Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you don't know, I'm Jonah Ruderman. I'm a theater kid, and that's my entire personality. And today I will be sharing all my stage mishaps and mistakes and things going wrong. So as you know, I do theater. I've been doing it since I was about 6 years old, and lots of things have gone right, lots of things have gone wrong, and I'm gonna share those today. But before I start, make sure to like and subscribe and comment and notification bell and all the normal things YouTubers say. So I'm gonna go from the smallest and least stage mistakey to the big ones that are kinda crazy. So here we go. So I'm gonna start off with my first play ever, Oedipus Antigone, at my high school. I played Oedipus, and it was the first show done outdoors during COVID. Our sound quality was not great as people were entering from the building, and it was like crazy. So opening night, we didn't have a speaker backstage for all the actors to hear. So basically a soothsayer comes to town, and I'm like greeting them in. I say my line that they're supposed to enter from. They do not enter. Meanwhile, there's a monitor backstage in the school that has the show on a live stream, but if you've seen a live stream before, it's a little delayed. So my line was like 30 seconds later for them. So they're not entering, and I'm like, are you there? I can't see you, because I'm professional, because improv. But then they eventually entered the stage and it was fine, but like, girl. So the next one is from a more recent production. I was in Legally Blonde at IHA. I played Emmett alongside Grace Capeless, who you may know. And Emmett isn't a very hard role, but there were a lot of props in the show if you've done the show before. And at the beginning of Harvard Variations, the worst song on the show, I have to hand out these like papers, like being like welcome to your first day of Harvard Law, so exciting, and like I have to do it in the music, and I'm handing them, and I go on stage for my first entrance, and halfway through the song I realize I didn't bring on my clipboard with any of the papers. So comes to the part where I'm supposed to hand out my papers like a good actor. So they line up, getting ready for the papers like they're supposed to do, and I'm over here like, I don't have any papers. So I'm just like, this is your seat, this is your seat. Yes, I did get a note from stage management. Okay, next we're going into a little more scary territory. I was in Spelling Bee. It was an outdoor production like my fall play, and I played William Buffet. And so the whole show's going great. It's the final performance, and on final performances at my high school, we do senior pranks. Senior pranks basically means the last performance, all the seniors will prank the other people in the cast. And the way that they prank me is, you know, they put Vaseline on the trophy that I end up winning at the end, the football that I throw, all that sort of stuff. But at the top of Act 1, the guy playing Chip Tolentino, there's a part, you know, candy and throwing the candy. My unfortunate, he throws candy up in the air at the end. Now, a senior thought it would be very funny if they put tampons and pads in the candy box. So underneath all the candy and all the whatever Milky Ways and all that sort of stuff are tampons and pads. So at the end, he throws them up in the air and they fall on the ground. The audience can't see, but I have to act on that stage for the next hour. And there's a part where my friend Brooke, who played Olive, picks up the candy and hands it to our conductor, and he's like, "Here, mister." She handed him a tampon. Enough said. So I was in a production of Elf Jr., and I played Walter, Buddy's dad. And midway through the performance, the person playing Buddy gets a snow globe from Santa, and it's like this cute moment. Oh, snow globe of New York, pretty. And he bumps into the wall, and the snow globe falls on the ground and shatters into a million pieces. That snow globe was made out of glass, so there's just glass bits all around the stage. But luckily, there's a transition into New York right after that scene. So the stage manager is like, takes a broom, brushes it off the stage, and then we went on with the performance. But there was just this wet pool, this wet stain on stage. But later in the show, Buddy gives Jolene, I don't know, he gives the girl the snow globe that Santa gave him. It's broken. So luckily we had a spare snow globe, so he gave this new one to the girl and goes, "Santa gave it to me. I broke the last one." And the whole audience was laughing and it was fine, but yeah. So a bunch of years ago, I was in a production of Xanadu. Yeah, Xanadu. and I played Sonny Malone. And in that show, a lot of the dialogue is the same, because it's like, Kira, you're my savior, or I like to draw this new thing, like whatever. And a lot of my lines were very similar. So we're doing a scene, and then she says her line, and then I say my line. And then slowly throughout the scene, I realize, did something happen? Because people weren't entering on the right spot, and I was like, what is happening? And then we finished Act 1, and I was backstage, and I was like, why did that feel so short? I fully skipped a whole section of the show and a song that establishes literally everything that happens for the rest of the show. So at the end of the night, after bows, we were like, hello everyone, theater's live, we have problems, so we're gonna perform a number that was skipped by me for all of you. And then we did the number, and then they were like, okay, but that's pretty bad. Next we have Beauty and the Beast. I actually have 2 stories for this one. Okay, it's like a Friday night performance, and we're doing the scene, whatever. I have my candlesticks, like this, the whole freaking show. And all of a sudden, my left candle snaps off, falls straight on the floor. And so I'm looking at my Cogsworth like, what do I do? So we end the scene and we sort of just kick it off stage left. Meanwhile, I see my director run around backstage, hot glues it in like 5 minutes. But in that time, I have to go back on stage. So I pull a Mrs. Potts and I'm like, hey, that's all this time. True as it can be. But then the performance went and it was fine. And this was one of the scariest moments of my entire life. I'm singing as Lumiere, one of the most iconic songs in Beauty and the Beast and Disney history, Be Our Guest. Song starts off, Ma chère mademoiselle, it is with deepest pride. And I start the song, be our guest, be our guest. And then I don't know what happened to me, but I just start singing, our command is your request. It's been years since we've had it. That's the second verse, I shouldn't be singing. So what ends up happening is I realize halfway through, I'm singing the wrong verse. I need to either continue singing this verse or just stop. So this is what I did. Be our guest, our command is your request. It's been years since we've had anybody here and we're obsessed. Try the gray stuff. Not my proudest moment, but I recovered, and that's the most important thing. Okay, moving on to the bigness, the whoopsie, if you will. I was in a production of Fiddler on the Roof last year at my high school. We're a high school production putting on a show that's 2 hours and like 45 minutes. Stuff is gonna go wrong. And it did. So I'll just name a few things that went on. Friday night performance, there's a bench on the middle of the stage, and it's right before Tevia's monologue where he finds out that Mottel and Seidel are gonna be engaged without his permission, and he's like, heal me. And what I didn't know when I walked on stage is the bench, the leg is like snapping off, like almost completely broken, and I'm supposed to like sit on it and like have a whole bit with Mottel. And Michael, who was playing Mottel, I was about to sit on it and he goes, oh no, Tevia, don't sit on the bench. And I go, all right, telling me what to do. Fiasco avoided. Thank you, Michael. Speaking of benches, at the end of Act 1, there's a whole scene, spoiler alert, where the Russians come in and they destroy the wedding. They're breaking glass bottles, they're breaking everything. Boom, boom, boom. The kid who's playing the constable who runs the whole pogrom was feeling very in character that day. And he takes one of the benches and he flips it over and it breaks. And he also broke a chair, and so we just had 2 broken set pieces on stage, which had to be replaced at intermission, but we were extra scared that night of that scene. And for the final, and maybe the worst possible thing that could happen to an actor, it's the scene where Tevye saying goodbye to his middle daughter, Hodel, to go to Siberia and leave her family forever, and they're probably never going to see each other again. It's so emotional, and so me and Hodel are, we're holding each other, and I know it's very emotional and very raw, and there's a song that's supposed to start. It's Far From the Home I Love, and we're doing the scene, and we're so into it, because it's the last performance, and we're so into it, and she says her cue line, and nothing happens. So we're kind of just like looking around what's going on. And so we're kind of just like ad-libbing, please don't go. No, Papa, I have to. Why do you have to leave your family? I have to, Papa, this and that. And I look over to my right down in the pit, and our conductor, bless his heart, is just sitting there like this. So I'm like, what do we do? So we just keep going and going. And at a certain point, I mouth to Huddle and I go, sing, just start singing. And then she just decided, okay, I'm just gonna say my cue line again and see if that sparks it up. She says it again. It worked, thank God, but I kid you not, 45 seconds. In the theater world, that is the end of the world. So thank you, Jaden, who played Huddle, for that save, and thank you to our conductor for giving me that wonderful and terrible memory. Well, that's all my stage mistakes that I have for you today. If you want to hear more stage mistakes, just let me know. I got lots of them. Also, I would like to announce that Grease tickets are now on sale, so go buy them now. They're going to sell out very quick. That link is in the description and also in my link tree on my bio. Comment down below your stage mistakes and your worst mishaps on stage, whether you've seen it or you've experienced it. So make sure to like and subscribe, and I will see y'all later. Rock and roll.